As winter creeps to a close, spring break and summer vacations are just around the corner. And as a nutrition coach, this means that you're gonna have some clients that are worried about falling off track during their upcoming vacation and losing all the progress that they made while working with you. Which is why in today's video, I'm gonna show you 5 simple strategies you can use with your nutrition clients to make them feel more confident going into their trip. Starting with number 1, prioritize protein. Doesn't matter if someone is at their home or out of town, prioritizing enough protein is the most important thing they can do. Consuming a diet that is high in protein stops people from overeating because it keeps you full, which is even more valuable for someone that's on vacation because the chances of overeating are even higher. One way to offset the extra caloric intake is by making sure that you have a serving of protein at every meal or snack so the client feels full and satisfied and makes better decisions throughout their entire trip. Here are a couple tangible ways your client can increase their protein intake while on vacation. Have high protein snacks on hand like Greek yogurt cups, protein bars, shakes, and even cottage cheese. Have at least one source of lean protein at every meal and snack, and have a daily protein goal in grams for your client's vacation if they still want to track, and this might look different than their normal target. Just this strategy alone can really increase your client's mindfulness around their nutrition while on their trip and can limit cravings and excess snacking. Now, before we move on to the next food group your client should be eating in abundance on vacation, listen to this.
Hey, it's Coach Meredith here, and before you keep watching this video, I want to personally invite you to a Dr. Mark Method webinar that I'm hosting. It's on the step-by-step process that took me from struggling to starting my nutrition coaching, having a 10K month, and creating a full client roster with a waitlist. Go to the first link in the description below to register, but act fast because space is limited. I hope to see you there. Now back to the video.
Now, the next thing your client should prioritize is number 2, eating fruits and vegetables at each and every meal. Fruits and vegetables add in so much volume to a meal. They add in a lot of mass, keeping people full with not a lot of calories. So adding in a serving of fruit and or vegetable every time they eat should be a priority. When your clients are out to eat or even preparing their own food at a rental like an Airbnb or a Vrbo, encourage your clients to first prioritize their protein intake and then pair that with a serving of fruit and or vegetable. For the most part, this is going to cover their nutritional bases, making sure they're getting enough protein and fiber to stay full and satisfied. It's also going to naturally reduce the amount of high fat or high sugar food options that are much more accessible on vacation. But you also need to remember, for a lot of your clients, this is going to be the first trip that they take that they're being more mindful of the impact nutrition has on their weight loss and overall health. So they're a little bit nervous about it, and that can cause a lot of anxiety for our clients. So although we want to be giving them strategies like eating more protein and more fruits and vegetables, we also want to remind them that number 1, a week off is not going to wreck all of their progress or all the habits that they've built up. And number 2, there's still a lot they can do on their vacation to implement some healthy habits and strategies to make some progress. Not all is lost, even if they aren't tracking their calories and macronutrients. These reminders are just as good as the actual tangible strategies that we're talking about in this video. Your clients, more than anything, just need some reassurance that they're on the right path and going on a trip isn't going to ruin anything, and the encouragement that they totally got this. Now, the more that we think about it, eating out on vacation is going to be a big culprit to weight gain with all the extra calories. So let's talk about some strategies that you can recommend to your nutrition client to keep them on track while eating out. It goes without saying that since your clients are going to be on vacation, they're away from their homes, they're going to be eating out more often. And typically when you're trying to lose weight or improve your diet, you're going to want to cook most of your own meals yourself and avoid eating out when possible, because the food at most restaurants was cooked to be tasty, not low in calories, making it harder to stay in a calorie deficit. Luckily, there are a few strategies and recommendations you can give to your clients to help them keep on track while eating out. The first one we've already covered, making sure that you're eating a meal that has a source of protein in it. A good place to start is in advance looking over the menu and looking for lean protein options like chicken or maybe even some seafood. Finding something along these lines, as well as some vegetables, be it a side salad or steamed vegetables, will make sure that your client is getting protein, staying full, and minimizing calories. Now, these might not be perfect meals, and that's okay. The goal should really just be to encourage your client to make mindful choices when picking different meals, because that effort will go a long way. While eating out at a restaurant, they're also going to want to be mindful of portion sizes. Most restaurants are going to serve larger portion sizes, particularly with unhealthy food like fries and cheeseburgers. others. Whatever it may be important for your clients to know that it's in their best interest just to eat a portion of the meal at that sitting, or even to swap out a higher calorie side for something lower calorie. You could recommend to your client only eating till around 80% full and paying more attention to their satiety cues. This way they won't be overeating, and then they can save the other half for later in the day or just another day altogether. Turning one meal into two is a really smart way to spread out calories, save some money, and make the most of those larger portion sizes. Next, when possible, encourage your client to prepare most of their own meals themselves on vacation. Just because you're away and in a new scenario, it doesn't mean that every meal needs to be out in a restaurant. A large amount of people that travel are going to be using Airbnb or Vrbo, and they'll have access to a kitchen, which means they can prepare their own meals. And when you can prepare many of your own meals, you're going to have more control over the portion sizes, ingredients, and overall calories. So it's a smart thing to do and the best way to control most of the food you're consuming, which is also going to make it easier for them to stick to the strategies that you're suggesting to them as a nutrition coach. Even if your client doesn't have access to a refrigerator, they can still pick up some healthy snacks that they can have around that don't need to be cold, or stuff that they can fit into a hotel mini fridge, and most hotel rooms are going to have this. Lastly, if your client still wants to eat out most of the time, there's still healthier options that they can visit, so encourage them to plan this stuff out in advance. And fast food delivery has never been so convenient with things like Uber Eats or Instacart, so it's never been easier to eat healthy. Now, giving your client many different strategies that they can use to improve their nutrition while on a trip is going to give them that feeling of control. And that level of autonomy and control is going to go a long way, not just in the short term, but also making decisions throughout the trip. And as you're talking about these strategies with your client, getting a sense of when their trip is and when it's coming up and getting them to start planning, you can also get a sense of what they are willing to do on the trip and what they're not willing to do. Some clients are going to want to continue to have some structure around their nutrition, regardless if they track or just do some healthier habits. In most cases, this is a good thing. We want our clients to be mindful of their nutrition while on vacation, even if they don't have full control over it. This will give them the best chance at staying on track and maintaining their progress, as well as set them up to get right back to it after their trip. For some clients, they're going to want to stop caring about this stuff altogether on their trip, and that's totally cool as well. And even then, it's still possible to encourage your free-for-all clients to still make some healthy decisions, like preparing their own meals, because at the end of the day, they are the people that are going to need to do this. No matter what they choose though, you do want to lay out realistic expectations around what the client can expect depending on that decision. They can't go on a vacation and it be a free-for-all and expect to go back home at the exact same weight. It just doesn't work like that. So laying out some expectations depending on the decisions is going to be a smart thing for your client. It allows your clients to feel prepared for these changes, as well as avoid that post-vacation anxiety around getting on the scale. Now that you've reassured your clients and also have a sense of how they want to manage their nutrition on their vacation, let's move on to the last tip to share with clients that has nothing to do with nutrition. Staying active on vacation is a great way to offset those extra calories and just to get your body moving. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to recommend super intense workouts or exercising with the intention of burning off what they ate. Instead, you can recommend some realistic and doable movement goals for your clients. The easiest place to start would be setting a step goal for every day on their trip. A step goal is easy for many clients to hit on vacation because typically you're out there a little bit more active and moving more. Encourage your client to walk around the beach, walk to the restaurant, or next activity if it's not too far away, as well as explore the city that they're visiting on foot. You can also encourage your client to plan some movement-based excursions. Visiting popular hiking trails or walking areas is a great way to ramp up the steps without really even feeling like you're exercising. And for a lot of clients that take me up on this suggestion, this ends up being the highlight of their trip, getting out in nature and moving lots. Now, if the client is interested in doing some structured workouts, I typically suggest that they keep it short and sweet in under an hour, and preferably right in the morning before the day gets away from them. Getting in some intentional movement right at the start of the day is a great way to set the intention for the entire day, often encouraging clients to make better nutritional decisions throughout the day and just be more mindful and active. So those are my top 5 tips for helping your nutrition clients stay on track during their vacations. You've already helped them create good habits in the first place. Now all they need to do is continue to implement them. And above all, encourage them to enjoy themselves and just do their best. One of the main reasons why our clients want to improve their health is to get more enjoyment out of life. And as coaches, we should be fully behind giving our clients the opportunity to do so and enjoy a well-deserved break. Now, as great as all those tips are, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'll have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. I recently traveled to Disney World with my family, so I want to show you exactly how I manage my own nutrition and fitness on vacation in the next video. Check it out right here, and I'll see you in the next one.